Alright fellas, here we are back at Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be looking at the Fire-type double feature PokeFair Scout with Sygna Suit Morty and Sygna Suit May. So, this is going to be releasing tomorrow alongside the Fire-type high score event, and honestly, it's not too bad. Really, definitely this is a very solid banner for sure. Sygna Suit Morty is still an amazing sync pair to pull for. Great bulk, great, he buffs crit, speed, set sun, of course, but obviously also the great bulk and speed and gauge acceleration. All are amazing abilities for him and helps out a lot of characters. And Sygna Suit May is definitely one of the best fire types in the game and still a very, very strong tech sync pair in general, both due to her actual strength as well as having some very unique abilities. Not necessarily unique, but just good abilities that also synergize well with a lot of others. So let's go ahead and get into the look of these sync pairs. So, Sygna Suit May and Blaziken first. She has 358 speed, 176 in both defenses, 424 attack, and 648 HP. Not bad stats at all. Good offenses, great speed, good enough defenses, right? Very, very nice. She can also Mega Evolve into Mega Blaziken, goes up to 429 speed and 508 attack. Very, very good, and that's without even considering the EX, because a lot of people will likely be EXing her as well. Outside of that, she's got Blaze Kick for her moves, or her main move, rather. It's 140 base power at minimum, 4 gauge move, targets an opponent, 90 accuracy, crits landies more easily, and has a 10% chance of burning. This is a pretty good ability for sure. I don't think that this critical hit lands more easily ability actually gets enough recognition, because this pretty much enables you to not have to bring a crit support, and or you only have to use her Dire Hit All Plus once, which is actually very, very good if you don't plan to nuke with her. Speaking of Dire Hit All Plus, she's able to buff all allies crit, which is very, very nice. She's also got low sweep, which is not really too useful, but it is solid for keeping gauges low, gauge consumption, as well as being able to debuff speed, which is nice. And then her trainer move Fired Up applies gauge acceleration to the ally field of play, reduces sync countdown by 1, and raises her attack by 4 and accuracy by 1. Basically makes it so her Blaze Kicks are guaranteed to land. She's got good offensive buffs. She can buff her crit. She's got sync countdown, gauge acceleration. Very, very good stuff, right? And then her sync move, All About Us, Blaze Kick. She becomes Mega Blaziken. And then the more the target's defense is lower, the greater the power of this attack. So, innate, Relentless, I think? Very, very strong. And these abilities just in general, they look nice, right? Gauge acceleration, sync countdown, crit support, solid firepower, damaging move, right? But her best abilities are probably in her passives. She's got Head Start 2, so 2 sync countdown on entry. Combine that with Head Start 1 as a lucky skill, or go for her trainer move, and you can get -3 sync countdown just from her alone, which is very, very good. So you can get, you can build around sync ramping and whatnot, which is, again, one of the best strategies in the game. She's got Team Debut Dash 2, raises speed of all allies by 2 when the first time the user enters a battle. Each battle, very, very good ability as well. Not necessarily, like, outstanding, but I was able to, for example, I used her with Sygna Suit Silver in the video where I showcased her a few days ago. Go watch that if you want to get a good overview of this character. At 2,500 points Master Mode, but she was able to buff speed for Sygna Suit Silver by 2, which got part of his inertia activated, so he was able to do enough damage to do good with his nuke, right? So you can definitely use these supporting abilities, not only for your gauge management, but also if you want to activate, at least partially activate inertia, right? She's also got Defense Crush 9, 100% chance to lower the enemy's defense by 1 when her attack move is successful. So Blaze Kick will be guaranteed to lower defense, so will Low Sweep, meaning Low Sweep will also lower speed and defense. Very, very good, because a lot of characters have, like, Cakewalk and Relentless, the defense and speed debuffing abilities, Sygna Suit Silver, Dojo Gloria, New Champion Hop. A lot of these characters, honestly, just have it. So, Defense Crush 9 is great. Then once she Mega Evolves, things get even funnier. She gets Fuel Economy 1, reducing the gauge needed for Blaze Kick and Low Sweep without affecting their power. She also gets Propulsion 1, so she has just an unconditional 20% chance to reduce sync countdown anytime she takes an action, which is very good. And Defense Destroyer 9, -2 on the defense instead of -1. All of these abilities are very, very good, even just at 1 out of 5, right? These are amazing abilities, especially great with a lot of partners that she can work with. She'll work with pretty much any physical character very well, being able to debuff defense, do good damage on her own, sync countdown, crit support, just a solid fire nuke, and especially with her best partner being like Sygna Suit Acerola, you are cooking something, right? You are cooking heat. So that's very, very good. Very, very strong. Anyway, let's move on to the grid here. So, looking at her at 2 out of 5, she gets pretty much nothing other than burn synergy. I guess Slipper has a trainer move, you know, fast track, you know, these niche abilities, but really it's nothing crazy. It's just burn synergy, not really worth it. 3 out of 5, she gets a lot. Sync power nodes, right, obviously. Cakewalk, Inertia, Insult to Injury, Adrenaline 1, Trip Up 9. I think that's it for the notable abilities, which is obviously still a lot, right? So, in terms of her nuke, not only does she have the innate for Relentless, she also gets Inertia and Cakewalk, giving her a total of a 300% multiplier here on her Sync nuke. And then she also gets a multiplier for her DPS. Obviously, they're very, very good, especially now that Blaze Kick is at 154 base power, still off of that 500 attack stat Mega Evolved, right? And of course, you obviously get the Sync nodes here for just making sure your Sync is stronger. So, can you pick it all up? No, not really. But you can definitely make some sacrifices and pick up, you know, some specific stuff, right? Like, you can sacrifice an Insult to Injury, you can sacrifice a Sync node or two, and you can pick that up, right? In this case, yeah, you're sacrificing 2 Sync nodes, but you're still getting Adrenaline 1, which is very, very good. And then you're also getting Trip Up 9 for your speed debuffs for Cakewalk, as well as you can bring a speed support for your Inertia, right? And if you really don't care for Adrenaline 1, you can swap it out for the Sync power node here, or maybe you can go for Insult to Injury. How? I don't know. Figure it out. You can probably figure out something. Maybe getting rid of the Sync node. Again, if you really want Insult to Injury that bad. You could try it. I don't know. It just depends on you fully. So yeah, if you want to, you can build your grid pretty much however you want. But either way, if you want to go full nuke, Mei is a very strong nuker. If you want to go DPS, I'm not gonna say here DPS is the best in the game, but it's still pretty solid, right? It's still pretty solid for your DPS, and not to mention you're obviously getting your defense debuffs with Defense Destroyer and stuff like that, right? And Adrenaline 1 on the Sync nuke. Definitely very, very nice if you want to run double Adrenaline, maybe. Get yourself extra Sync countdown in. It's really just up to you. And honestly, even just at 1 out of 5, Mei is still really, really strong, just as it is. Because she's got the Sync countdown, crit support, gauge acceleration, Sync countdown. I think I already said Sync countdown. I don't know. Solid enough damage, right? So she's not really going to have too many problems, no matter what you do with her, honestly. She's still just very good in general. Other than that, if we go to 4 out of 5, she gets Hunter's Instinct for another DPS multiplier, and Vigilance, but who cares? You can go to 4 out of 5 for Hunter's Instinct if you really want to, but honestly, I feel just going for her nuke and just going with Insult to Injury is probably better. Maybe now that we have the Fire High Score event and whatnot, it would be better to just go for DPS. Maybe if you don't want to go for her nuke, just trying to do as much damage as possible would be better, but I don't know. Really, that's just depends on how the event works. And then 5 out of 5, she gets Staggering 2 for a 30% flinch chance. Not bad for sure, but really not worth 5 out of 5. And then Hostile Environment 9 for guaranteed burns. Not bad either, but again, not really worth 5 out of 5. So anyway, yeah, Sygna Mei here, very strong nuke, doesn't rely on Sun in order to activate all the stuff she needs to. Like, she doesn't have Solar Flare or any of that type of stuff, Charging Sun, whatever. She just straight up has a lot of good multipliers she's able to activate by herself, and yeah, right? She just doesn't really need too much help. She can even help out allies with the Dire Hit All Plus. Good damage dealer / support type character for this event. Going on to our second fire type, we've got Sygna Morty, who is also extremely good for this event. So, Morty is a support character with Shiny Ho-Oh, 322 in both defenses, 689 HP, 227 speed, and this guy's a great support. Very good support. So if we look at his abilities here, he's got Flame Charge for buffing speed, but really, this is not really a great ability until you get to the grid. He's got Potions for healing, Sunny Day, Setting Sun, and then his trainer move, which applies gauge acceleration and raises the defense, speed, and special defense of all allies by 1, and raises the crit of all allies by 1 when the weather is sunny. So you can buff defenses and speed, apply gauge acceleration infinitely, and buff crit and sun. Very, very good. And not only that, but sun's also buffing your fire type allies. And I know that 2 of the stages, again, in the fire high score event are actually not really fire. They use fire Pokemon, but they are not fire type. They are, I think, rock and ghost, and they don't use fire moves. So you can actually make full abuse of the sun here with Morty in 2 of those stages. I think it's Kiawe and Flannery. So good luck with that. Anyway, Going into his skills here, he's got Group Afflictor's Advantage 1, which raises all of the ally stats besides crit, evasion, and accuracy by 1 the first time the user's Pokemon uses a status move, which in this case is Sunny Day. He's also got Team Sunbathe, restoring allies' HP whenever he uses a move when in Sun. So you're not only restoring allies' HP with potions, you're also just casually restoring it just by using any move in Sun, which could be Flame Charge Potion or the Trainer move, or setting another Sunny Day, right? And then he's got Sync Damage Guard, applying Damage Guard to himself after using his Sync move. Very, very good if you know you're going to take a high-powered move sometime soon. You can kind of counteract the damage, save yourself some potions, and etc., right? Very, very good. At 1 out of 5, just base, this guy is already very, very strong. The defensive buffing, the potions, the gradual healing, the sync damage guard, overall good bulk stats, especially with the EX. And if you want to, level 150. He'll have some very, very good stats if you want to. You know, give him the investment. Also, you can give him Adrenaline 1 or Vigilance or something as a lucky skill. Just depends how you want to. Maybe give him healthy healing or something. Who knows? If you want extra healing from him, you can definitely make use of that. But really, it's just up to you. He's got good healing, good defenses, good crit buffing, speed. You know, gauge management is very, very good. Very small offensive buffing, but he still can do it a little bit in case maybe if you need a top off or something. There you go. Obviously, Sun helping out all your fire-type allies, potions for healing and whatnot. Very, very good. Only real restriction is that you can use him in all the stages for sure, but obviously if you apply Sun, it's going to help out some of your enemies, so you do have to kind of build around that and make sure you can handle that. So maybe it could lead you to having a bit more problems in stages outside of Kiawe or Flannery, right? I think it's Kiawe. I could have been wrong, but I know Flannery is not fire-type. She's rock. Anyway, going on to the grid, at 1 out of 5, he gets Trainer Move NPR, which is very, very good if you want to max crit, buff defenses, apply gauge acceleration, especially in these battles where it's not necessarily long battles, but they are definitely longer than like a stadium match, for sure. So, being able to have more longevity or something would be very, very good with this ability. Buffing your defenses and ally speed and gauge, as well as being able to max out crit if need be. Other than that, nothing really super insane. At 2 out of 5, he gets Speeding Sun, Sunny Disposition, Dashing Team 9 on Flame Charge, Friend Care, Friend Mend, and Master Healer on Potions, as well as Sunny Day NPR. Honestly, I would say 2 out of 5 is actually pretty worthwhile to pick up, because not only do you get Sun NPR, meaning you could get Infinite Sun, right, which is obviously good, you also get the healing and you also get these restorative abilities on your potions in order to prevent trap, you know, burn, confusion, flinch, everything, all of that type of stuff, right? You can mitigate it, right, which is very, very nice. And then, of course, other than that, Team Dashing, or Dashing Team 9 on Flame Charge. This is where Flame Charge becomes somewhat solid. This means you can buff speed outside of using the Trainer move, and that's very, very good for obviously activating multipliers like Inertia or Ramming Speed, such as how Sygna Suit May, Sygna Suit Silver, or not Sygna Suit Silver, Normal Silver, right, and some other characters have. You can definitely make full abuse of this ability here, and of course just gauge management overall is good, and then Speeding Sun for gauge if you need it, but not really, and then Sunny Disposition preventing stat debuffs is also very, very nice, and of course combine it with already having Trainer Move NPR at 1 out of 5, and you're doing pretty good for yourself, right? Obviously you can't pick up everything, but just pick up what's important for you in the battle. Just depends on who you fight, what their gimmicks are, how lucky you get, etc., right? You can probably skimp out on the potion stuff other than the Master Healer. I would probably pick that up just to be safe, but you can also of course just pick up the Dashing Team there and be good, right? Damn, close enough, right? You can build your grid however you feel like. Maybe you don't need something specific. It's just really up to you and how you want to build your grid. Anyway, yeah, 2 out of 5 for Morty is actually surprisingly solid, but I guess he did release back in the meta where they would release somewhat solid 2 out of 5 grids. Anyway, going to 3 out of 5, he gets Vigilance, another Sunbathe, which is actually quite solid. Team Give Me 5, 1 Adrenaline 1, Master Healer and NPR on the potions, and then you get the Body Bracing Inflation and Mind Bracing Inflation on Sunny Day. I don't know if you'd really want to pick these up, but you could, of course. You definitely could pick them up if you need to. But these are only one time, and you can just buff your defenses normally, right? So, these abilities here are pretty good. Adrenaline 1 for the Saint Countdown is obviously very, very good, just in general. Makes it so you don't have to quad queue or build around the luck of getting, you know, it means you don't have to really build too much around turn denials or anything like that. This is pretty good. Team Give Me 5-1, also pretty good, buffing all ally stats after using a sync move, meaning if you, again, need your offenses topped off, you can do it. If you need more defensive buffs and speed buffs, you can also do that. That's kind of why I think that these abilities here are not the most useful because you can buff your defenses not only in your turn move, but from Team Gimme 5 as well as the Group Afflictor's advantage, right? Double Sunbathe, very, very good if you need gradual healing. I would honestly maybe recommend picking this up. I would recommend picking it up for this battle if you have him 3 out of 5. Obviously, if you don't want him 3 out of 5, sure, fine. But if you do have him 3 out of 5, I would probably recommend picking up Sunbathe 9, just so you can make double usage of it if need be, right? So I don't know if Kiawe or Flannery's gimmicks have them where you can't heal. I don't know which one. I don't know which character has that. But either way, yeah, you can definitely make full use of double Sunbathe. Okay, well, Sunbathe for himself, but Team Sunbathe you can still use for your allies, but for his own restorative healing, you can keep this ability, and you could use your potions on other characters, not really Morty, right? And then Vigilance, if you don't want to pick up Vigilance in the Lucky skill or something, you can pick it up here, but maybe you just wouldn't want to pick it up anyway, and you can go for something else. Realistically speaking, that makes a lot of sense to me. How would I build this grid? I'm not too sure. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know how I'd build a grid. This much is already pretty valuable, but maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Maybe Master Healer there on the potions. It just depends how you want to build your grid and how you think everything will work out. Maybe you want to go for Sun NPR. Maybe you want to go for Flame Charge Dashing Team 9, or maybe you want to go for potion stuff here, right? It just really depends on how you want to build Morty and how you're going to be using him, right? But all these abilities on their own right are definitely very, very strong, and they can help out a lot of characters. It just depends what you're running, right? Go to 4 out of 5, he gets turn to move Critical Squad 1, being able to buff crit without having Sun up, or being able to buff it twice in one go if Sun is up, is very, very strong. Being able to buff crit this quickly, in a general sense, is strong, but honestly, I would say in the high score event, you probably don't really need it, because these battles are not necessarily long, again, but they are definitely longer than stadium battles, meaning you can definitely use Morty as a semi-reliable crit support if you go for turn to move NPR. Definitely not a bad idea. He also gets Sunny Day, Team Hit and Heal, so if you want even more gradual healing, this could be very good for you. This definitely could be a good ability if you want more healing, but really, again, that's up to you. And at 5 out of 5, he gets Sunburst, making the weather sunny when he enters a battle, meaning you don't have to go for that Sunny Day turn 1 in order to start buffing your allies' crit and whatnot. You can just do it instantly, which is a good ability. And then Endurance, if you want that, sure. Endurance isn't bad, but out of all these abilities, I would say Endurance is definitely the least notable. And honestly, I would just say that this guy's got a good 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 grid. I would definitely say he's up there for the more valuable of them, especially, you know, being a longevity type of support where you want a lot of healing and whatnot. He's very, very good at it, and this grid definitely solidifies it, as well as being able to fix one of his bigger issues, which was his efficiency of buffing crit. This fixes that problem, I would say. So yeah, honestly, 3 out of 5, 2 out of 5 I'd say is good enough for this guy. 1 out of 5 is good enough. It really just depends on how much of these abilities you want from Morty. 1 out of 5 turn move NPR is already good. 2 out of 5 getting Sunny Day NPR, Potion Stuff, Team Dashing Team 9. These are all good abilities as well, just at 2 out of 5, right? And then at 3 out of 5, of course, you get the Adrenaline Team Gimme 5, Sunbathe, the other potion stuff as well, right? All these are also good abilities. And then again, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, all of these abilities in their own right are also good. So this guy's just got a bunch of good stuff, and it really just depends on what good stuff you want in order to see what kind of move level you want him to be at. Morty's definitely one of those better supports, I would say. Sygna Suit Morty's such a great support just for his gauge management, defensive ability, healing, crit buffs, potions, Sunny, you know, just Sun, right? As a Sun support, very, very strong, even to this day. Obviously, he's not an offensive support, he's more of a defensive support, but still, you can definitely give some bit of offenses with the offensive buffing here from Team Gimme 5, as well as Group Afflictor's advantage, but of course he doesn't give stuff like physical or special moves next, super effective next, or lower enemy like defensive stats, so you can definitely say in that aspect he's not really an offensive support. But I'd still say that he's definitely very, very valuable, especially for this type of event, where the bulk could definitely help you out in the end, for sure. So yeah, overall, Sygna Suit Morty, Sygna Suit May, this double feature PokeFair Scout is very, very good, for sure. I'm not going to say go for it or not go for it, it's really up to you, but these characters definitely are going to be good for the Fire High Score event, and just good characters in general. Sygna Suit May, I did a video over her earlier in the week, well, technically last week, because today's Tuesday. But if you do want to see a video over her, go watch that. And I will probably put a video over Sygna Suit Morty up later today if I get the time to. It may be a little bit later, but I'm not too sure. Either way, yeah. I'll see you all later. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Sygna Suit Morty and Sygna Suit May down in the comments below, and this double feature PokeFair Scout, as well as what you plan to do for the Fire High Score event. Are you going for just 180,000 points? Are you going for the medal? Are you going for a top score? Or are you not even like participating in it? Whatever, right? Just let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you all later.